Well, it looks like the Ace family has found themselves in yet another lawsuit, and I have to say, I'm absolutely shocked. Just kidding, you guys. Honestly, when I heard about this one, I had to read it multiple times to make sure this was a newly filed lawsuit and not some old one, because there have been so many that it kind of felt like it could have been an old one. And yet, time and time again, Austin and Catherine get on camera to say that it's other people who screw them over and lie on their name, and that, none of these things are actually their fault. But somehow, they just always seem to be the ones getting sued. I honestly don't understand why they keep letting things like this happen. It truly must be costing them so much money, because I know lawsuits are not cheap. And not only just money-wise, this has cost them their reputations. They were once ridiculously popular, and not for any scams or lawsuit reasonings. People genuinely liked them. And I mean, some people still do like them, but I mean, over the years, things have definitely changed. And with all of these cases of them doing things, people have really grown tired of their actions. So this new lawsuit, it is a new one. It was filed last week on the 18th for contractual fraud. Wow, I mean, yikes. This is literally the third time Austin has been sued over contractual fraud, and it looks to be the sixth time something has been filed against him in the last year. And he's not alone in this. Don't you worry, you guys. He's got a partner in crime here, because his dad is also being sued by the same person this time, and the person that is suing them is Ted Foxman. So Ted was an investor in Austin's most recent fight. Well, he was supposed to be, where Austin was fighting Gibb. This was the fight that hardly sold tickets, and also there were still a lot of people talking about the previous fight, where a lot of those fighters did not get paid what they were promised. So that conversation was still happening, even though Austin was trying to move past it and put on a new fight, which I don't know why you would want to continue putting on another event when you're still dealing with your last event. But anyway, Ted Foxman and Austin signed an agreement which said that he would be fronting cash for this fight, this new fight, to cover expenses and help pay off the fighters from the last fight who were not compensated. So Austin needed an investor to help pay those people off. I don't know who would be getting involved with them, but Ted was willing to get involved with the McBrooms. So it said investor Foxman agrees to invest up to $2.5 million in connection with the event investment. The investment shall cover, among other things, the amounts needed to settle the remaining fighter claims. Austin McBroom shall, among other things, fight at the event for no charge and use best efforts to promote the event. The goal for the event is to, among other things, feature no less than 5 fights and 10 fighters. Investor Foxman shall have the right to terminate this agreement within 30 days of the April 14th, 2022 effective date without liability. So in their initial agreement, it said that Ted had 30 days to change his mind about that. And change his mind he did, but we'll get into it. So the remaining fighter claims that were left to pay from the first fight that Austin did against Bryce Hall, where he overpromised and they did not make as much money as he thought he did, and it was nearly impossible to pay people back. And these were the amounts that they were promised versus what they actually got in the end. I mean, you can see the settlement amount: $200,000, $100,000, $80,000, $60,000, $49,500. I mean, yikes. So in total, he still had nearly $500,000 left to pay people. After him and Ted finalized the agreement, Ted was going to send over $49,500 to Austin and his dad, because Austin and his dad were both part of this agreement. He later texted Austin's dad saying, if you guys decide to go with another investor, I'm going to get this back, right? Like, we're reimbursing it. You're aware of that? Because that is what we signed on. And his dad was like, yes, like you will be reimbursed. Well, that did not go as planned, because later Ted didn't like how things were looking and the direction that Austin and his dad were taking in all of this. So after wiring that money, he decided to back out, and per their agreement, he did have that 30 days to change his mind and also get his money back. So according to the complaint, on May 1st, 2022, Foxman timely terminated the agreement in an email to Alan McBroom. I've decided to step away from the show and exercise my option to get out of our deal. We can discuss repayment of the $50,000. I have already advanced. I'm fine with the sooner of either getting repaid when your new investor comes in, or over the next 4 to 6 months if the show doesn't happen. And in a text to Austin McBroom and Alan McBroom that day, Foxman elaborated, "The progress we've made is showing everything going in the wrong direction. Every fighter is 50 to 75% over the budget. The fighters that were shown to me are mostly eliminated from being possible without going even further over budget." So he is saying that this fight seems impossible. You're overpromising payment, which was exactly what happened in the last fight, and everybody that they pitched to him that was going to be a big time fighter that was going to bring a lot of eyes to this fight, a lot of promo to the fight, is no longer on the card. So he was like, I'm out. Then it becomes this big, long fight to get his money back. And truly, I don't know how Austin and his father, Alan, think that they can just take $50,000 from someone and then try to ghost them as if nothing will come of it, because that is what Ted is alleging here in this complaint, that Austin and Alan just completely were like ghosting him and were taking his money and running. So Austin and Alan did find someone else to fund the fight, and once that happened, Ted reached out on several occasions in an attempt to get his money back. On May 23rd, Foxman emailed Alan McBroom saying, "I spoke to Austin McBroom and he told me that you guys have secured $2 million in funding for the fight. So it appears that everything is moving forward. Let me know when I can expect to receive the return of the $50K I sent at the start of our efforts." He emailed again on July 5th, and then on the 8th, according to the complaint, Austin McBroom's attorney replied to Foxman that Austin McBroom did not then owe Foxman any amount. So his lawyer is literally saying, Austin doesn't owe you money? Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you guys talking about? You guys are asking for a lawsuit. But I guess Austin's dad decided, we gotta patch this over before he gets a little too angry, and sent a text to Ted that said, "You're going to have to wait on your $50K advance until after the event. We're still in the process of securing our investment, and funding the event is first priority. We're literally 22 days out from the event. I promise you will get paid back the advance on that following Monday, August 1st. You can disregard the July 8th, 2022 letter from Austin McBroom's attorney, and we will work this out. No hard feelings, brother." But there are some serious hard feelings, and also some tea. Like, what do you mean you're 22 days out from the event and you're still trying to secure funding? Like, this whole thing is messy. Messy. The event was later held on September 10th. The event did end up getting postponed, and who knows if it's because they didn't end up securing an investment or what was the deal. Austin was blaming a lot of this on Gibb, saying there was something going on with his medicals, and so they couldn't fight when they were ready to fight.
I don't know how to feel right now. I'm sad, frustrated, pissed off. All I could really say is that it has nothing to do with me or Social Gloves, but the fight, Austin versus Gibb, may potentially have to be postponed. Out of respect for Gibb, I'm gonna let him explain his situation. He has no choice other than to make a video and explain to you guys why the fight may have to be postponed.
But unfortunately, I've been told that I have to do more medicals for this to be sanctioned as a pro fight out in LA. So in 7 hours, I'm gonna fly to LA to do these said medicals. Social Gloves have informed me that the fight is not cancelled, it is postponed.
The whole thing was just so strange. Now kind of has me thinking that has to do with all of this, but I don't know. Anyway, the event was held in September on the 10th, and following the event, Ted still hadn't heard back about getting his money back. And after several attempts of reaching out between the fight and now, nobody has responded to him. They have completely stopped responding. Not Austin, not his dad, not Austin's legal team. And so Ted had no other choice but to take legal action to get their attention. In the complaint, he also shares reasons why he backed out. He said they were overpromising payments to fighters, and the original fighters that he was pitched were not on the card anymore. And in the complaint, it actually showed what Austin had pitched to him. And it was Austin versus Gibb, Nick Young versus Levon Bell, Blueface versus John Gabbana, Bryce Hall versus Alex Wasabi or Fuzi, DDG versus Tootsie. And this was how much everybody was going to get paid. The complaint also said that Foxman learned that Austin McBroom's list was bogus, and most of the individuals included in the list did not agree to do the event, and none for the amount Austin McBroom represented. Alan McBroom tried to explain away the falsehood, saying those were just preliminary numbers. So it sounds like Ted is accusing Austin and his dad of making false estimates to him or false promises to these fighters, but either way, he wanted out of the deal when this was started. I will say though, it's crazy to see these numbers because I know there was like an alleged list going around of how much every fighter made off of that fight in September, and it wasn't anything close to these numbers. So that's just honestly sad. And I can't believe that Austin would even agree to fight for free. And maybe he was just saying that and gonna try to get money some other way, but fighting for free at your own event, I mean, I don't know how you even signed on for that. But this whole thing is a giant mess. And once again, I mean, how do they think that they can just take that much money from someone and not see any repercussions? It's crazy though what the McBrooms are willing to sign away to. I don't know if they just think that these papers that they sign are no big deal and that nobody will actually hold them accountable for it, but you think that they've been in so many lawsuits that they would actually see that people are very serious when you sign a piece of paper with them, especially when money is involved and you're taking someone else's money. They're going to be very serious about that. They're going to keep track of it and they're going to want it back if they deserve it back. But something completely different from this fight that is very crazy that I noticed when I was reading this complaint was that they included the original agreement that Ted and Austin had signed in regards to him giving them money. Okay, so not only were they signing away rights of him being an investor in this fight, but it looks like, you guys, they wanted to make their wedding a big event and they were willing to sign away the rights to that event to Ted. You guys, it's actually crazy. In the agreement, it says right of first negotiation. Producer agrees to provide the investor with a right of participation to partner and invest in future events with producer, as well as the for-profit broadcast of producer's wedding between him and his partner Catherine Pye's wedding. Specifically, investor agrees to exclusively negotiate all future events, including the broadcast of the wedding, directly with investor in good faith with company for a period of 45 calendar days following the event, while any agreement with respect to any future events shall be subject to good faith negotiation. The parties agree that the investor is to receive a minimum of 33.33 revenue share in all future events, including the wedding, with the exact pro rata share. How wild, you guys. I mean, just wow. They did make a video talking about this where Catherine says that she just had a sudden epiphany, which is so funny to me watching back now because, girl, you did not come up with that idea out of nowhere. You did not just have this sudden epiphany while you guys are venue shopping, okay? No, because this contract was signed just a few days later and contracts take time to write up. So they must have been talking about how they can pitch people to put on their wedding and make money from it. I mean, oh my gosh, you guys.
All right, this is gonna sound crazy, but I just had an epiphany, okay? So he said that we should have all of our Ace family members at our wedding.
Or at least try to have as many of you there as possible.
Not kidding, whatever, right? We're just, because we think of the craziest things that we actually do. But then I thought of something, and like, tell me if this is a good idea or not in the comments, okay? What if we did our wedding at the Dodgers Stadium? Okay, listen to this, all right? How many people does it fit?
I want to say 60 to 80,000.
Okay, so 60 to 80,000 seats, all right? We have you guys all there in the seats, and we just throw this big wedding, and we live stream it.
Whenever we come up with like this, like, it's scary because we end up figuring it out, and we end up just doing whatever comes to our mind, which is crazy to think about.
I'm pretty sure that they just said this to get a feel of what people would think because they were literally about to sign a contract to make this a real deal. Like, this video was posted, like I said, just a few days before they signed this contract, but most of the comments were actually telling them that yes, they love them, but this should be an intimate thing for their friends and family to attend and not something that the Ace family needs to be a part of. Like, yeah, they want to see pictures and they want to see a video, but a lot of these Ace family fans were saying this should be a private thing for you guys. And maybe that threw them off, but they still signed their rights away for somebody else to profit off of their wedding and live stream it and everything, which is just all right, I guess. It's just crazy, honestly, but any opportunity to get that bag, I guess. even if it isn't something that their fans want, which is the same thing about these fights. A lot of their fans have expressed that they're not really big on these fights that Austin is participating in, yet they seem so desperate to put them on, and they seem to be losing money and getting into lawsuits at the end of the day after every single one of them. So I don't know why they keep doing it. It seems to be hurting them all around. But that is what is going on with the Ace family. I definitely want to know what you guys think about this and the fact that they were signing the rights away to their wedding. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.